What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to yet another video on impact shooting. In today's video of Shoot Better, we're going to be going through the torque settings you need to squeeze the most performance out of your precision rifle system. You're not going to want to miss this one. So why do you need a torque wrench to squeeze the most performance out of your precision rifle system? Well, that's pretty simple. In this long range shooting game, our name of the game is consistency. So you want to know if I take an optic off and I swap it out for something else, or I've taken my barreled action out because I shot in the rain or a super dusty environment and I want to clean my rifle, I want to take that rifle back to the exact same settings and I don't want to have a zero shift. Now I've been able to take barreled actions out, swap another caliber in, which is quite nice when you're running chassis systems like this. This is the Howa 6 Creedmoor, by the way. The rifle is safe, so I have checked that before the video. Right, so torque settings and sort of my ritual for going through all the settings on my rifles. In today's video, one of our focuses is a systems check. So this systems check you really want to run every time you take your rifle out to the range, whether it's just going out to check zero, gather data, going hunting, preparing for a match, whatever the case may be, or just practicing. You want to run through this little sequence before every time you shoot. Now, here's why you want to do that. It's sort of like a pilot doing a pre-flight on his aircraft, whether that's a helicopter or an airplane. You want to make sure everything is functioning like it is supposed to and everything is where it needs to be. Otherwise, you're going to end up chasing your tail and potentially throw away a match, wound an animal, miss an animal, or whatever the case may be. It's not going to end up well. So, I generally, as a rule of thumb, before I go out and shoot, I'll put my rifle on the bench. I usually just clamp it down into the vise over there. I'll take my torque wrench and I'll sort of work my way through the rifle. Now, I don't necessarily work my way from the back to the front because some of the 20 torque settings, I'm going to just check all the ones that I run on 20 and so on. So without further ado, let's start our way at the most important bit, which is probably the optic. I'm also going to show you guys on which sections of the rifle I do run a little bit of blue Loctite, and that's just going to save your butt. Now, in the past, I have been to matches where I was leading 2-day national matches by quite some margin, and then my action screws came loose and I egged the last 3 stages and I end up 4th. I've also had some experience with a little part as something as simple as a Picatinny rail that's loose underneath where your bipod clamps onto. That little bit of vibration, I was chasing my tail trying to zero a 6.5 Creedmoor 2 years ago in Oklahoma like you cannot believe. All I did, I took my rifle out because I'd flown into Oklahoma. I hadn't gone through my little checklist. I checked that and tightened it up and the rifle was shooting bug hole groups with factory ammo. So, I'm going to start at the top on my torque settings on the rings. Now, Vortex recommend, I use this sort of Bosch little multi-tool, all the different sizes, hex wrenches. I also have in my other toolbox, because sometimes you'll have like an in-between size and then I have that in another toolbox. Now Vortex recommend 18 inch-pounds of torque on these top rings. So I'm gonna use a little bit of blue Loctite. I've obviously done that if you watched our 6 Creed build, which this rifle is. And I'm just gonna check to make sure everything is as it needs to be. Now you might be surprised if you actually go through all your rifles right now. Not right now, you obviously need to finish the video before you can do that. But if you go through some of your rifles, you might be surprised to find that some of these things are not as tight as they should be. So that's 18 inch-pounds when you're actually clamping your optic into the scope rings. I also run 18 on a variety of other things, like these little bolts at the back here, and I'm just going to check those. Now, these cheek piece bolts, oops, wrong one. Okay, so they're as they need to be. I'm going to swap back to a larger hex wrench, and then I'm going to check underneath my rifle to make sure my arca rails and everything is as tight as they need to be. Now I think there we use a little bit of a smaller hex, and I run 18 on these two. Perfect. Now these should be 100% fine because I set up this rifle and I haven't shot it yet in its current configuration. In these little screws here at the front on the MDT ESS, I also run 18, so that's all looking good. Then the next important thing. Now this is going to be different when you're running a sort of conventional rifle stock. In a chassis system, I go up to 65 inch-pounds of torque. So that's basically maxing out this wheeler, which maxes out at 65. I'm going to go all the way onto the top. Let me know down below. I've heard that people say you need to wind these things down and leave them on 0 when you're not using them. I don't know about that because I don't think a spring's life decreases if you leave it sort of under tension. So that one's tight, and I'm going to need my little extender to get into this one at the back here. Now, when you're running something like this vertical grip, I also check all these screws down here. Sometimes I've even, before a big match, I'll take this apart and actually check that screw that goes in the back there too. Now, I'm going to swing this rifle around so you guys can see on this side. Importantly, when I do the scope base to the action, if you don't have an integrated scope base into your action, I do 18 on those two with some Loctite. So 18 inch when you're actually putting this 20 MOA rail onto the base. Then these screws on the side here, which put the rings onto the 20 MOA base, those ones I also do at 60, so I'm going to back off a little bit right there, swap over to the correct bit, and just double check that these are where they need to be. And as I said, they really should be, because I haven't used this rifle at all. I actually am going shooting this rifle right after this video, and I'm gonna make some content for you guys. I've loaded up the new rounds for it, and I'm super excited to see how the 6 Creed runs. How cool is this, by the way? I'm going to punch in on that and show you guys how cool this bolt looks. If you want to get your bolt lasered, just let me know. You can send me your bolt. I'll do something like that for you, and we can make something really cool on your rifle. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. 18 on the scope rings, 60 on the rings to the base, 18 on the base to the action. I'm talking the 20 MOA base. Then action screws in a chassis system 65, and then sort of all the other little bits and pieces I generally do at 20. Now once again guys, I cannot stress how important it is to run through your rifle system before a big match or any shooting event. You want to make sure everything is as it needs to be, so that when you get to the match you don't end up chasing your tail trying to figure out why your rifle's not holding 0, because what will end up happening if something is loose, you'll shoot, let's say you're shooting a paper at 100 yards, you'll dial over to your shot, you'll take another shot, and it'll be somewhere else, and you won't actually be able to get your rifle 0. Just that little bit of movement is enough to absolutely throw you off, and to turn what should be a very fun experience into possibly a negative one. I want to thank everybody that's new at the channel. The last 28 days have been absolutely incredible, guys. We got 1,200 new subscribers in the last 28 days, and the channel did almost 100,000 views. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm super humbled that you guys choose to watch my content. Always help out the channel. Please leave a comment, leave a like down below, and remember to turn on the notification bell after you've subscribed. We upload twice a week on Mondays and on Fridays. On Mondays we do sort of general videos, and on Fridays we do shoot better videos such as this one. Some of them might be tech tips as like today's video, and some of them are at the range physically helping you guys to get more rounds on target. I have put up also a shoot better playlist. If you've missed any of our other episodes, check that out at the end. Guys, once again, I'm super humbled by your support for the channel, and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. So I've just realized that I haven't put one of my new gold Vortex stickers on this new PST. These are available. Embrace that Vortex lifestyle. There's a little inside joke. If you know what that's about, let me know in the comments. Anyway, okay.